Okay, good.
Hey, I'm Greg from Surfwax, and I'm here with Isaac.
Hey, Greg. Thanks for having me over. Yeah, you nailed it. Good intro. Yeah, well, let's get right into it. Tell me about your guitar.
It's old. It's a Jaguar. Yeah.
I like how you've taped off the controls. I'm assuming you want them to stay like they are.
Yeah, I mean, we try to have fun when we play. We get kind of crazy. And I used to use the kill switch a lot back in the day because I would use this really screamy fuzz. And now I use a gated fuzz, so I don't really need it. So it's taped off. These guys are all on, but you can kind of tell the tape has been there for a super long time.
What are those switches for?
So it basically controls. This is a mids switch,
Okay.
and this is on off. So kill switches for each pickup.
Okay.
And I use both pickups, so everything's just on all the time. The mid boost sounds great, so I just leave it on. These rollers, so the whole configuration is different than a normal Jaguar. The rollers up here, they're actually for single coil to humbucker, and they're always set to humbucker on here. On a regular Jaguar, it's been a while since I had one, but they are like I think they're your treble and low maybe or something. It's been a while. And this is your rhythm circuit on a normal Jaguar. So that's what's going on there. That's what's a little different.
Did you do that yourself, or is this like a model?
No, this is a classic player HH from a long time ago. 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had it since then.
Nice.
My wife got it for me. It was
Nice.
great.
That's
We used
awesome.
to live in California, and I had a Strat. I played Strats for a long time, and they were never really comfortable. And I sold our Strat when we were moving, and she got me this one year, like right after we had moved to Mississippi for
Nice.
Christmas, and I've used it ever since. It's really beat up. I'm not super careful with it. When I got it, I don't think they were that expensive. I think they're maybe worth like twice as much as they were then now.
Okay.
But I treat it like it's worth half as much as I paid for it. Yeah, but overall, this is my favorite guitar. I've used it for
Nice.
a long time. I use a Mustang every now and again, which Van, our bass player, he wired up for me and
Okay.
put in some crazy pickups. Actually, the fun story of it was I throw my guitar on the ground a lot, and I fucked this one up when we were in Gainesville, Florida, and we had like 2 weeks that we were about to spend in Florida. And so I had to have another guitar, and we went to Guitar Center, and I'd picked up like a really cheap Squire Jaguar, and Van comes running to me. He's like, dude, this guitar's like $120. I was like, we have $120. So
Yeah.
we bought the really cheapo guitar, and I used it. It was horrible. I used it for the 2 weeks we were in Florida. And then when we got home, though, I put a Duosonic neck on it that I already had.
Okay.
And I Van put in some Duncan pickups that I had. And so now it's actually like a really sweet little guitar.
Nice.
And it's the same scale as this one, but it weighs like an 18th of what this weighs. So it's fun to play every now and again, but overall, if I can choose, or if, this is the one I would prefer,
Yeah,
for sure.
It's fairly chunky though, pretty heavy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a light guitar.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And
least-
but you get used to it. So like that's kind of the thing, is playing this guitar and having it on, like it feels like you have something productive in your hands. Like I don't know, it's the Mustang on the other hand is like an accessory. But yeah, I mean, it's a great guitar. Old toilet sticker.
Nice.
That's really old. This one, the cat sticker, conned Seth into buying me when we were in like Tulsa, I think. No, we were in fucking like Kansas. I don't know. We were really far away from home, and Seth was buying like 80,000 things because he likes to buy books and shit when we're on tour. And I was like, buy me this sticker, and he's like, no. And I'm like, dude, buy me this sticker. Just buy me the sticker. He bought it for me, so
Nice.
it lives there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun guitar.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see the wear on it, but other than the one incident, it's held up to being thrown around.
Yeah,
on the
it's
floor.
honestly it has never like cut out. It's never
Nice.
been messed up. Other than that night, that was actually the kill switch that broke when
Okay.
it was taped up. But I guess I just dropped it right on the kill switch and it broke. right now we have a show tonight, and the volume pot is being nice and noisy for the first time ever.
It happens.
You know, but otherwise, yeah, it's held up through a lot of chaos.
That's awesome. Yeah, super cool guitar. If you want to, I know y'all got a gig tonight. You just said we can move on to your pedal board if you're cool. Cool. Yeah. Well, what are you running here?
Pedal board's fairly simple. I use, flip that on. I use just told you. Luckily I use a gated fuzz, so that works. But yeah, I use the whatever it is, the Black Boss tuner.
Okay. Yeah.
It works good.
Yeah.
It tunes and stuff. So fuzz wise, like, that's the clean channel. So I run into the clean channel of a CR 120, and it's just a solid state orange. It's a great amp. And yeah, it's kind of darker than a lot of clean channels. Like sometimes I'll use a tiny orange for small shows like Urban Foxes, things like that. But it's not nearly as dark sounding as this one. So kind of right off the bat, this is darker, and my fuzz is not dark at all.
Right.
So it kind of counterbalances that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I used to use a really screamy fuzz. This one, as soon as I stop, it's done.
Yeah.
So that works a lot. This is a Eldritch Blast. It's by Electronic Audio Experiments.
Okay.
I've used it for the last chunk of years that we've been playing. I mean, a long while now. I think the tape that we have that has like Ghost and Late Night Party and those songs was an EAE model FET.
Okay.
Is what I used on that. But otherwise, everything is exactly the same. I used to trade pedals a lot. And so that's how I ended up with this. Traded something for it. I don't know. I don't use the boost on it. It does have, like, I guess, some type of EQ boost. So I'm not that talented, so like it doesn't sound like anything to me. I do always, so that's on for really most of all of our set. My compressor is always on. It's a Diamond comp, but it was rehoused by Dreary Sounds, who was someone I used to trade pedals with. So he rehoused it. It was a big yellow pedal, and I don't like yellow at all. The color,
it looks very cool now.
Yeah,
it's a good move.
The color is horrendous. It has maroon knobs on it, which you can't see because I just leave it taped up because I use the same setting all the time. But yeah, he made me a what's the Slint Dudes pedal? The guy who recorded In Utero, the harmonic percolator.
Okay.
He built me one of those, and at the same time that he built that, he rehoused this, and he rehoused a Memory Man for me. But this is the only one I used live, and it's fantastic. It's great. It's lasted forever. It's pretty simple as well. It just makes me not... Yeah, it's just good. It works. So those two are kind of always on, and then if you've seen one of our shows, most of the time no one's asking me like, what fuzz are you using, what compressor are you using. They're like, what the fuck was all the noise in between songs? So I use a Fabricat. I'll leave it clean for now, but so we are a 3-piece, so fairly basic. Like Seth and Van are awesome, so I can just kind of do simple stuff. And this is kind of the hidden piece of everything, and I can freeze it. And so when I'm tuning, it's that, but way loud and like tons of fuzz and just making noise. And it's basically a tape machine, so.
I like that. That's cool.
So we use this setting, click it off, but we use that setting for Bad Health, which is kind of a druggy, bad drugs song, and it sounds like bad drugs to me.
Yeah.
But it's ultimately, it's 16 channels.
That's so cool.
And I use one.
Hey, you found the one you like. That is so cool, though. I love that sound.
There's a lot of fun stuff you can do in it, and when we record, like kind of long form, I would like to use more settings of it, but for the sake of being a 3-piece band that just kind of starts and doesn't stop till the set's over, I don't want to switch it much. So yeah, really it's just fuzz into compression into tape machine, and that's it.
Nice.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, simple setup. I like your branding on the power.
You know,
Surfwax.
Yeah, I don't. What's the brand? Voodoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like Surfwax better.
Yeah, you know, we sing about ghosts and devils, and we're not nice. No, we're nice people. We're really nice people. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it works.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not like a crazy setup, but like you said, like it does the job for y'all's set.
Yeah.
It works really well. I really like the Fabricat. That's what that's called.
I mean, I've never heard anyone say it out loud, so I'm assuming
yeah.
it's called Fabricat. F-A-B-R-I-K-A-T.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pladask.
Okay.
Again, I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say their name. Pladask Electric or something. I don't know. Is the builder? They're from. I think they're maybe like Norwegian or something.
Okay.
But what I thought was cool when I first heard of them, so like he teaches a workshop about building pedals.
Yeah.
And they would build the original Fabricats during that class. So the only ones you could get for the beginning of its existence was if you went to the school and did the master class and like passed it and finished it, and you would get one of these pedals. And then as I was trading pedals, like this was one of the weirdo ones that kept popping up. And I got lucky and I got one and I loved it. And that one would have been the one that's on our kind of early recordings. But then 2020 happened. And instead of trading pedals, I was selling pedals. I was selling like everything I had. So I had to sell my original one. And I was like missing like a part of my soul because this really became like the thing that it's another instrument, really. It is. And so then I got lucky and traded around and got this one. I stomped the shit out of it for years and years, and it's still good.
Nice.
I don't have these two knobs on it, obviously, because that's where my feet hit.
Right.
And they'll stay set. But yeah, that I don't know if you can find one, but they're really
I was gonna say
fantastic.
Your first one, at least, and maybe this one, you think these came from like that class? Is that still the only one?
Oh no! These for the class they had a different name.
Oh, okay.
But then he started actually making them
to
sell. But I'm pretty sure hasn't sold them in like years. This is probably my favorite builder, and then I don't have one on my board right now, but Ezzy and Akai, again, I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say it. I've never heard anyone say it out loud, so they're probably my favorite builders because they just do like weird stuff. That's our fourth member right there.
Very nice. Yeah, super cool setup, man. And this is an orange CR120. Is that the Crush? Is that what that's called, or is that a different one? Am I getting them confused?
CR might stand for Crush. It could.
I'll have to look it up. I don't remember.
I bought it again years ago, and I've had it for a very long time. I use the dirty channel sometimes when we're recording, and it sounds like an orange, like a very classic orange sound. So it's great for that. But the clean channel, it is by far my favorite clean channel I've ever heard. If you pair it with like a Fender, like a good old Fender amp. They're so different that they really work well together. But yeah, it's a great little amp. I know tubes are like the cool thing, but they're heavy and cost money to replace things.
Unreliable.
So I would definitely recommend it. And then the cab that I use is the VB12. I don't know. It's got some Celestion 3012s in it.
Yep.
But yeah, and I only use one of those because.
Oh really?
Yeah, we play small.
Fair enough.
Small
so
shows.
Did you just like unplug, or do you mean you only use one of the cabs?
Yeah, I only use one of the speakers because I can use both, but like it really doesn't make much of a difference for what we're doing. Recording wise, if you wanted to do like multiple mic situations going on, it would be good for that. But in a live context, like no one's like, oh, he's only using one of his speakers.
I'm out. I'm leaving. Can't watch this.
No one knows or cares. So yeah, it's fun, and I threw on some knobs from, I think they're called Love My Switches.
Okay.
They're good people. I remember them being really sweet. I ordered like thousands of knobs from them at one point in time.
So those aren't the knobs it comes with, you put on?
Yeah, no, those are definitely not.
They look cool.
Yeah, and the Jackson sticker came from I want to say her name is Shaq. She's super cool. She did this thing called the 601 Run event. Happened in Jackson in the Belhaven Bellhaven area, and she was super sweet. She gave me some stickers.
Nice.
And there's a toilet sticker again
Yep.
because we think very highly of ourselves. But yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool. Well, yeah, I think that's about it. Anything else in the rig you want to touch on?
No, just, glad I have Van and Seth because they're good.
Sweet. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
Good luck with the show tonight. Now I'm over here with Van on the bass. How you doing, Van?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. Okay, I had to check and make sure I'm still recording.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're good. We're good to go, I think. We'll find out. Yeah, so y'all got a show tonight. Show us what you're going to use.
Well, so I'm going to start off with the bass here. This is a Fender Precision PJ. So, let's see, what is this? American Player, I think?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, it says 75 on the back, so I feel like it's some kind of anniversary, but this was actually a gift from my mother for my 30th birthday. She's never bought me an instrument before. I've always bought them myself, so
That's awesome.
she was just like, well, I want to get you something nice, You didn't die before you made it 30, so congratulations. Here's a bass guitar, but
Yeah, super cool.
but yeah, man, it's definitely one of the nicer basses I've had.
Mm-hmm.
I've owned like Hofner's and
Okay.
some pretty wild shit.
Yeah.
Honestly,
So like the straight up the Beetle bass, Hofner?
well, it's a very thin. It's like I guess it's a hollow body, but it's probably about as on the outside, probably about as thick as a pack of cigarettes, and
wow.
it's super light.
Yeah.
But I I played that in my previous band before I joined Surfwax, religiously. I really hate I had to get rid of it, but when money gets tight, you got to fucking do something. But yeah, like I've I also have a Mustang bass that I played on a bunch of our stuff in Surfwax before I acquired this one. But yeah, it's definitely my favorite so far.
Yeah, for sure.
I had
a super cool bass.
I had a jazz bass, a white. I think it was a 50th anniversary. Like they used to put like metal tags on the back of them.
Yeah.
Like on the back of the
Just get a little
heads.
stamp now.
Yeah, now it's just like, well, here's 75 years. But yeah, love this bass.
Yeah.
Just kind of disappointed in the quality, because like I've had issues with the pots and everything, and I'm pretty sure I probably just got a lemon. But what can you do?
Is it just the electronics giving you problems, like playability and stuff is good?
Yeah, like it doesn't really cut out or anything like that. It's just really scratchy, and I've hit it, hit them with some contact cleaner and everything before I actually replace them. And contact cleaner seems to work pretty well, but I don't know, like other than that, everything else is great. The pickups sound great. It stays in tune. Like I've on the road, like we've toured for like weeks at a time, and just tossing it in the back of a Ford Escape or whatever the hell we're in at the time. It stays in tune surprisingly well.
Yeah.
Like that's probably the only good selling point of American Fenders now. But
Well, that's harder to get right than you can just replace the pots.
Right.
So I'd rather have a good instrument that just needs a little electronic work.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's great. I mean, I think these have was it Alnico pickups?
Okay.
But they're probably some of the better sounding pickups I've heard in a Fender bass in a while, other than like vintage or something,
Yeah, the real expensive stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You play more on the P, the J, do both? Where do you
Well, it really just depends on the song.
Mhm.
Like I prefer the P pickups, but like for instance, if we're going all out on something like Paro, Bad Health, like I'll kick that other pickup on and crank the treble, or not treble, but the tone.
Yeah.
Crank that shit and just roll with it.
It's wide open.
I got a second distortion pedal that really adds to the sound also.
Okay.
It's actually a custom pedal.
Which one is that?
It's the Golden Guillotine.
Yeah, that's a cool
It's,
looking one.
I guess Malice Forever. I think they're based out of Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. That one, I forget how I got that one actually, but like they're kind of a smaller custom pedal maker, like. But the Golden Guillotine was always something that I've enjoyed like listening to.
Yeah.
And it sounded really good on bass. So
it's a super cool looking pedal. I like the knobs on it.
yeah, every one of them, like, well, the knobs. I think me and Greg actually traded knobs, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
Hey, good call.
He was like, hey man, like, you want these here or something? And I was just like, sure, whatever, man. Like, I'll use the chicken head knobs. But but yeah, it's pretty cool because like I forget what year this one was made, but I'm pretty sure he still does the same thing when he does pedals. But he'll like put a little note inside the like, I guess, the footing plate or whatever, and it'll just say some random shit. Like, I think this one has like a Lord of the Rings quote or something,
Nice.
which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got a really broken up sound, like, and whenever you add that pedal with the what is this one, the Westwood? Yeah, when you add that with the Westwood, it just shatters the whole like signal in a weird way.
Okay.
Especially when you have like the preset all the way up, and you like kind of put the post midway. It's like it's almost like the scrambler that they have on some Ampeg amps, and it just blows it out of the fucking water. It's pretty wild. But yeah.
And then, you guys, if you don't mind, if you have a delay pedal, I don't see many bassists with delay pedals.
I use that every once in a while, like, for like, I guess, swells and stuff like that. And as like Paro is another song like that. We kind of like go all out on that song. Like, for a while there, like, we were just like, let's make this song as huge as we can possibly make it as a 3-piece, and so that's what we ended up doing. And there's like kind of a break where I use it, and it sounds like a guitar, like just really low end type shit, but Greg's doing a little bit of noise with his setup, and then like I'm kind of doing some like melodic type stuff in Paro. Like, if you've ever seen us live, like you'll know. But but yeah, I use that for that mainly right now. Like, every once in a while I'll use it in between songs, like play some crazy shit, and Seth will pick up on drums and just kind of like, we'll jam out for a second.
That's
and
awesome.
People start grooving to it, and then we'll stop, and they're just like, oh man,
I was enjoying that. Yeah.
Like, play that again, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I've had a few different delays, and I don't really use this one quite so often. This one's actually Greg's. I traded my old delay. I forget what the brand was, but traded it for the Westwood, and I think a looper or something like that. This he mentioned that he used to trade a lot before the pandemic and everything, and like I traded like pedals with him, like we would kind of like be like, well, I got this one, and you want to see if they want to trade this one here too, also, like, let's see if we can get like 2 pedals out of that or something. But we just played around with stuff. But yeah, and as far as my amp goes, that's I think a 20 what year was that released? 2012?
Okay.
2013, something like that. I could be wrong, but it's a BA210 V2. And these amps are like notorious for just like cutting out at random times, and I've never had an issue with it.
Really?
Ever.
Okay. Nice.
Like, until the past year. And it's like it's like it gets too hot, or like 'cause it has this little tiny like computer fan in it, you know, and it's almost like it doesn't push enough heat out of it or something. I don't really know, man, but
That sucks.
but it's been a great amp. Like I got it at the same time as the Hofner that I mentioned, but you know, it's it's definitely road worn, and it's been beat up and really just I don't know. It sounds great.
Yeah, I like the skull on the grill. You want to play some for us?
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Seth actually did this cardboard cutout of a skull, and that's like I saw him. He had it like back here somewhere, and I was just like, I'm gonna like put that on my grill and spray paint it.
Yeah, turned out good.
Yeah, it's I was like, yeah, it's about time I do something a little bit different with this thing, because it was like I used to just like put stickers behind the grill and everything, and like people would always look and be like, what is that? Is that Samus from Metroid or something, you know? And I'm just like, well, fuck yeah. But yeah, that's just the Westwood.
Okay.
And then this is the Golden Guillotine added to that.
Yeah, that's a good sound. I like that.
It boosts it pretty well.
Yeah.
But, typically, if I know I'm using the Golden Guillotine for anything, I'll use like the high pass filter, so it kind of cuts out some of those like harsh notes, you know.
Yeah.
It's like and that's with the tone all the way off. Like you can still get that bow bow bow, that whole Ampeg sound. But then you turn the high pass filter off. It's like it gets pretty ridiculous sometimes, you know. But even like just Ampeg by itself, like I've always been an Ampeg fan. Like even just by itself, it's a thrill. It's one of my favorites. But I mean, I've had like old Fenders and shit, like the old Rumble 100s or whatever. I think I had an old Rumble 100 in the band before that I was in, Logos. Was at practice, and it literally caught on fire during practice, and like I just remember going, what the fuck is that? And I turn around and there's like smoke billowing out the back, and it was one of the ones that had like the LEDs at the bottom, you know, like it would, you know, light up whenever you hit a note or something. And like I was definitely underage at this point, but like I had a whiskey and Coke or some shit, and I just threw it like into the amp, and it did all this like crazy sparking shit, and
you stopped the fire though, huh?
Yep, it cut it completely out, and I'm just like, I gotta go get another amp. Fuck.
That's a cool way for an amp to go though.
Yeah, I mean, whiskey and Coke, man. I mean, I don't drink whiskey anymore, but well, sometimes, but I would definitely, if I was an amp, I would want to go out by whiskey and Coke.
If I was
for
on
sure.
fire, whiskey works, you know.
Just toss it, man. Fuck it. Who cares? But yeah, as far as the delay and shit goes, like that's but like with in Paro or whatever, like I just do like tremolo type shit, you know, like just. I don't know. I've always liked delayed bass.
That's really cool.
It's pretty neat, but I used to have more pedals than this, but I just kind of roll with this because it's easy to carry around and shit. But yeah, that's pretty much it for how I do things, man. Like I believe the Ampeg is the biggest part of my sound, honestly.
Okay.
Like if I didn't have an Ampeg, it probably wouldn't sound like Surfwax, honestly.
Okay, dang. That's quite an endorsement.
So Ampeg, holla at your boy.
That's right. Hook him up. Get some endorsements. Tag him in the video or something.
For real,
yeah.
dude. Like, I would love to be sponsored.
You want like the 810 fridge, the stack?
I mean, hey, I'm fine with just any kind of SVT head and 410. I'll cut you some slack.
Letting you off easy. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Well, is that everything you want to mention?
Yeah, man. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm pretty simple when it comes to my setups. You know, I don't have anything that does anything weird. Like Greg.
You don't see many bassists with delay pedals. I like that a lot. Sounds really good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
sweet.
shit.
Thanks, man. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, man.
Enjoy your show tonight. So now, for our almost first ever drum rundown, we got Seth. He's going to show us his drums and also some of the cool stuff they got in this room. How you doing, Seth?
Pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah, this is the kit. It's a Ludwig Classic Maple Pro Beat, and I ruined my credit to get it. Yeah, it's been nice so far. I mean, it's kind of oyster, you know, like, what's his name?
Ringo?
Ringo, yeah. Yeah, yeah, I've always liked like the classic style, even though it really doesn't harken to the type of music that we make. But yeah, I really just like the look of it. And I used to have a really small kit, like a 16-inch kick drum. So like, I wanted to go polar opposite. So I went 24 and tried to get as loud as I could to keep up with the other guys.
Yeah, it certainly worked. So that was actually when I saw y'all at, I think it was Urban Fox's, sometime late last year. Mm. I was blown away by the kick sound. I was like, is he running a sub back here somewhere? Like,
yeah, that's really my favorite part of it. I mean, the toms also, like, they really didn't take much to wrangle in, you know. They kind of just sounded harmonious as soon as I put the heads on. So
just a single moon gel on them. Is that all the dampening?
Yeah, I actually just got these. Normally I take the bottom heads off, like concert tom style, and tighten up the top heads pretty good. But sometimes you still get kind of those gnarly overtones and stuff, so I just try to wrangle that with moon gel.
Yeah.
And then the snare is actually like the cheapest piece of the kit, but it's one of my favorites. It's a Superphonic, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm.
It's classic, if so.
Yeah, it's like basically
Yeah.
It's between the Acrolite and the, I forget what the expensive Ludwig is, but it's like a studio standard that I couldn't really afford after buying all the other stuff. So I just went with this one, and it's pretty nice. It has a nice crack to it.
Yeah. How do you tune relatively high, low?
Yeah, I try to keep the snare pretty high too. Mm-hmm. Same thing, like just have it cut through all the guitar noise and, you know, compete with everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm. What about your hi-hat over here?
Yeah, these are K Sweets.
Nice.
I had like some cheaper cymbals that I was using for a long time, and I have like a pretty minimal cymbal setup, so I decided to put a little bit of money into it. And these are fantastic. I have this big gnarly crack on what used to be the top one.
I know.
But we just flipped them, and nobody knows the difference.
It works fine like that once it's on the bottom. Nice.
And same with this. This is the K Constantinople, and I just had to replace it because the old one is also pretty shredded, but it was worth buying another. So
yeah, hey, if you like it.
Yes.
So are you only running one cymbal here and then hi-hats?
Yeah, pretty much. I can get a lot of voicing out of this. Mm-hmm. This can kind of function as a crash and a ride, which is why I broke the bank for it. But yeah, I mean, it does enough, and if I'm kind of alternating, this can be the crash when necessary, you know. Just kind of trying to keep it also light, you know. Even when backlining, I like to not have to carry very much stuff, so, you know.
Do you only bring the two stands with you when you backline. The guys come up like, where do I put my crash?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that has come up before. Sometimes I have to bring an extra stand just in case they, other folks don't bring hardware. But yeah, really, like, it came from backlining. Back in the day, people would have like the most bare kits, and I was the one showing up like, I need a crash or I need this or that, and I was just like, if I write without all of that, then I'm never gonna show up and need something.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of where it came from.
No, that makes total sense. Yeah, it's a super cool kit. I'm really impressed with the simplicity of it and the amount of sounds you're able to get out of it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Super cool.
Yeah, I guess the other thing, I know we were talking about this off camera, but these beaters, the one I have on it right now is kind of a muffled one for the neighbors, but they're low boy beaters. They're like a wood body and pretty heavy, but that helps kind of fill out the kick drum even more, as if the 24 needs it. But it's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I've got running.
Yeah.
Pretty sparse.
Well, I'm a fan of it. It's one of my favorite drums I've heard in town, and that was before I was even really into drums. So
nice.
Yeah, it works on the right audience.
Yeah, for sure.
So the reason for the viewer we're filming this like this is because we're also going to get a little tour of some of the sick art in here, which Seth himself made a lot of. Y'all want to just rant about it? We got Greg here too.
Oh shit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, most of this stuff in this corner is me. This one is our EP cover. That's the little devil guy, kind of holding his big brain up. And COUCHFest 2 banner, the only one that I've actually displayed, unfortunately.
It's much bigger than it looks.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, it is very big.
That's COUCHFest 4. We're at 4 now.
Oh yeah, yeah. All the flyers are in that.
We're gonna do 5. You guys are gonna play this time.
Hell yeah.
Big Sleepy Seat Classic. That's where we started. So our first shows were at Big Sleepy's.
Nice.
That's Caleb is in Susio. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Susio now. He's a good dude. That was his spot.
Yeah.
Couch House.
Yeah, that was printed by Asher. He printed a lot of our early shirts. Six Sisters prints a lot for us as well. But yeah, he designed this logo for us and made some denim patches.
Nice.
What else we got here?
Let's go this way. So we got Party Wave. That's from the cover of Party Wave, which was I guess our first full length. It was basically like demos and things of that nature. A company from Washington, I don't know if it was Seattle, but somewhere in Washington put that out. So that's from that album cover. This is from Bad Health, which is one of our probably most popular songs, I guess. But that's the album cover for that. And then
we have 2 little aliens.
Yeah, and this couch. Couch made by Justin. That's from COUCHFest 4, I think.
Good old Justin Rams.
And then Seth takes all the band money and buys records. So that's COUCHFest invested records.
Please buy a t-shirt.
And then, you should hit the fridge. There's tons of art from COUCHFest on the fridge. Seth's really good at getting a lot of artists from around the region for that, and he's really good about buying their art too, so. That's the couch fridge.
We all about the art.
And that's Devin. She's our engineer. She records all our hits.
She knows what she's doing.
Speaking of that, you said you record here, don't you?
We do record
Nice.
here. We record mostly in that little room. Sometimes all together, sometimes he'll record, then I'll record, he'll record. But yeah, most of everything we have from the tape, which shouldn't be online, but it is online, that's with Ghosts and Late Night Party and all that. From that on is all recorded in this house.
Treehouse is at Urban Fox.
Oh yeah, Treehouse we did record at Urban Fox's. At least the drums. No, I guess maybe everything.
It was everything. Yeah.
But yeah, most of everything is recorded here. And yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's that.
Oh, yeah, super cool. Thank y'all for the tour. Anything else, or is that's pretty comprehensive?
I think that's it.
Surfwax House.
Come to COUCHFest 5.
Yeah, let's go. All right, thanks, guys.